What is going on, Tubes? This is your boy, Will Black Oni Wiggins, here to give you another exciting Black Oni podcast episode. This time, it is episode 56 on Rapid Fire right now. We have the Onilition, a podcast collision. Like that, right? That was good. And before we get started with anything, I'd like to take a moment to introduce all the people we have on this epic Civil War-esque style podcast.
Ooh, we're gonna fight?
We're going to fucking fight!
Well, I'm Puerto Rican, so that means I could be Captain America, because you remember in Avengers.
Yeah. All the Hispanics on one side, please.
All right, I should probably ask this beforehand. Is everybody just clear this up right now?
Did everyone see the movie? Is that what your question was?
No, I'm just saying because I will make sure like we're gonna be fighting, right? And then somebody's gonna go, my mother's name is Martha, and then we just stop fighting because of that. We gotta make sure that's not gonna happen here.
Martha,
Murder. Where'd you say her name?
Literally out of a Peter Holmes skit, bro. Literally.
So now that we just totally sabotaged your intro.
Yo, that was perfect. We're gonna go down the line of all the people on the podcast, starting with my man ItsYoru.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Yoru again. Chris, what's up?
Yeah. We have Chris Seeley.
Hey, great to be here.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. We got Kkosaurus. Damn, his mic's still not working.
Take it down.
We got Emilio.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Yeah. We got Mr. Manifested, Jamail. We can't hear you, bro. Let's move it, bro. Start to a podcast. We're gonna go back to you. Don't worry.
We'll come back when you figure out what your name is.
You got my man Kkosaurus.
Ooh, I keep getting my audio keeps cutting out. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I think there might just be too many people.
We might have broken Hangouts.
Why does it not recognize?
I'm just gonna try lowering the quality and see if it'll work.
We can hear you now, Jamail.
But it's not recognizing my mic. I don't know if I sound crisp.
No, you sound far away.
You sound low though, son. What's up with that? Why you gotta sound all low?
Hey, I'm just trying to get my Morgan Freeman deal, you know.
All right.
What's your name? What's your microphone?
You're now listening to the only coalition.
We got my man Tony.
What's going on, man? Let's do this.
Yes, I'm so excited to be doing this with you guys. We talked about this a little while ago, and we were just like, it'd be really cool to get as many of our people on the podcast as possible. It'll be crazy, but it'll be cool. Now we're here. Feeling pretty good about it. So, as the very first thing we'll do as we go into this, I'll ask you the icebreaker, which is, what is your most hyped game of the year?
It's because I'm playing on the goddamn cord, that's why.
I think he already knows what his most hyped game is of the year.
I did that cut out a little quick.
Oh, Dream, most hyped game of the year.
Most hyped game of the year. Final Fantasy 15, September 30th. This time, bitch, got the 10 years I graduated high school.
That's what fucking dude.
Damn.
10 fucking years.
I feel you on that, man. Fucking freshman, dude.
So what about you, Kev? What is your most hyped game of the year?
Kev is die.
Hear me now?
Well, he's coming back. Don't worry. He's coming back.
Will.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
There we go.
Yeah.
Shut up, motherfucker.
So Tony, what is your most hyped game of the year?
Man, like the whole year, right?
The whole year.
See, the thing is, like, I would say Final Fantasy 15, but I'm still not sure. I want to be hyped for it, but I can't. So I'm just gonna go with shit I have played. I'm gonna throw on something wild. Motherfucking Doom, man. I'm feeling it too much right now, bro.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, like I haven't played like
amazing.
Yeah, I haven't played like Doom in a long time, so it's really good. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Uncharted 4, but I kind of knew what I was gonna get, and it's a great game. But Doom is giving me, it's just scratching a special itch, man. It is good.
I'd like to hear that. All right. Well, what about you, ItsYoru?
Do you even have to ask? I'm gonna be with Jamil on this one. 15. Finally, fucking 10 years, dude. I feel like a Kingdom Hearts fan waiting for 3, but damn, dude. I mean, this game was back in the day, dude. I mean, like all the new footage that came out yesterday and today, it looks fucking crisp, spectacular, and I'm just pumped for it. I'm super pumped. You know what?
Mm-hmm. What about you, Chris Seeley?
I already played my most hyped game of the year, and that was Dark Souls 3.
Ooh,
It's fantastic.
it really is. I agree with you.
Why's my mouse way over there?
Hold please.
let's go with Icarus. What is your most hyped game of the year?
I'm gonna have to go with the same as Jamel and Chris there. I'm gonna have to say Final Fantasy as well, and I'm not even that big of a Final Fantasy fan, and I'm looking forward to this one, so I gotta go with that.
Okay.
And boom.
Okay. And what about you, Emilio?
For me, it's actually, I don't know. To be honest, I mean, games are coming, but I'm not like I'm not like, oh my god, I'm not like that. I just,
Yeah.
I mean, I could say, I could tell you what last year's one was, but not this year, really.
Tell me last year's
Yeah,
then.
man.
It was, of course, Metal Gear Solid 5.
Floppy, of course, on us.
Has enough time.
Yo, man, if you're paying attention to my Twitter, man, it's like 90% Metal Gear.
Yes. And people, you guys need to make sure you're all following these people on their social media. So, ItsYoru, you can be found at.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Chris underscore Lazcano, Lazcano. Just a warning, I'm a huge soccer fan, so shit goes up, and a ton of other cosplay shit, so let me know.
And what about you, Mr. Seeley?
You can find me on Twitter at Lunar Diaries. It was one word.
Awesome. We can just go down the line. What about you, Icarus?
Oh, my bad, I'm eating pizza.
Oh my god,
You can find me at Icarus with a 5 and 7 S on pretty much everything. So Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Emilio?
You can find me at eManland. That's it, eMan with 2 N's.
Mm-hmm.
Man land.
Yeah. What about you, Jamel?
And you can find me in St. Louis rolling on dubs.
God damn it. That is not what I asked.
You know, it's Dream manifests everything with 2 M's. There are 2 separate words connected without a space, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all that stuff.
And what about you, Kevin?
Hey, I'm pretty much off of Twitter right now because I'm managing my the store I work at's accounts, so that's where I am most of the time. But I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kkosaurus. Everything else is pretty much all hooked up to the store right now. But yeah.
And last but not least, Tony.
Y'all can find me on motherfucking Twitters at Rami. Let's see if you can see that real quick. All right.
Focus. Focus.
Yeah.
Focus. Hold the hand steady, play. Hold the hand steady.
I don't know, whatever. ROMUDETH. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a link in the bottom because ain't nobody gonna remember all this shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's mad work.
All right.
And
how about you, Will? Where the fuck can we find you?
Just go to blackmoney.com. You'll find everything. Just like keep it simple. That shit, real simple. And I want to do like a little mini interview for you guys' group because I heard about you before. I think I might have saw some of your stuff either on N4G or I can't remember where it was, but I remember seeing you guys' podcast before. I was like, yo, these guys are mad cool. Like, this is dope. Tell me a little bit about how you guys started this podcast and what the ride's been like.
I'm talking about Throwdown specifically?
Throwdown specifically.
Yeah, Throwdown had an interesting history. So we started on STFU and Play, a site that's no longer around, like 3 years ago, right? We originally had one guy who had the idea for the show, but he, something happened, he really couldn't handle it, so I took it over and we went up to episode 91 on that one. And then when we came to Coalition, we're like, all right, like a comic book, right? Volume 2 to start fresh. So we started at number 1. Now we're at 85, which is really fucking crazy. You know, if you
Yes.
think about it, like in a couple of episodes, we're gonna beat out the old show. You
Yes.
know? And on top of that, we also have Throw Down Your Question, because originally on the original Throwdown, we called it the Throwdown back then. We would always answer questions at the end of the show. Problem is, we literally spent like either half the show or more than half the show answering questions. We
Yeah.
get so many questions. So when we went over to Coalition, we're like, all right, split this shit in half, you know?
Yeah, like we're getting like close to 3 hour, close to 4 hour shows just from answering questions.
God damn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was definitely we had to make that decision to kind of cut it out, and I think it's a lot better for it because now you can kind of choose your battles and be like, okay, I don't really feel like listening to normal Throwdown. You can listen to the question show because my question's on there.
Yeah, exactly. And we do something. You know, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we do something unique. There's no other show that literally answers every single question. We don't go over. We don't want to answer that. No, we answer every question, even if it's a repeat. We answer the fucking question. Like we'll just give like a truncated version, you know. But no, we'll do it all, man. And the fans seem to love it, you know. But yeah, obviously on main Throwdown, we discuss all the main gaming news of that week, but we always try to come at it from like a more analytical type of angle. It's not just, okay, this happened, you know. And we usually, like to focus on like bullshit that people try to pull on you, whether it be developers, publishers, or fanboys, you know.
Yeah.
We go at these people, you know. We're very kind of I guess combative type of podcast in that sense.
I wouldn't say it's that combative.
No, not us, but like we go after people, man. Yeah, it's confrontational, you know. We don't really. I'm not talking about like within the show itself. Like we get heated, but we don't go crazy. But we don't go after. We single them out, especially if they're doing something wrong. You know, like you had these like I'm not gonna get into it, but when you had these fucking journalists calling, saying gamers are dead or all that shit. We're like, no, we ain't dead. Who the fuck are you talking about? You know. Yeah.
I mean, the lot of the show is actually kind of because me and Tony and Chris have also known each other for a crazy long amount of time, and the show is also kind of like it's almost like an adaptation of what we used to do as friends, like just hanging out. Like me and Tony were like, and our other friend Chris and Mike, we'd all like have these big long conversations, round table, just whatever, talking about whatever's going on. And the Throwdown is almost like an evolution of that. It's also like an evolution of like conversations me and Tony have on like the phone. We're just like talking about bullshit.
Yeah, the funny thing is, this is something a lot of people don't know. Manny and I always have, not intentionally, it just always happens. We have mini Throwdowns before the show because I'll tell him what we're doing on the show, and then he just goes off.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fun. But yeah, that's basically what it is, and I think we really captured that because a lot of the fans say to us, "Hey, it feels like we're just hanging out with you guys," because we're not coming off trying to be pretentious. We're just gamers talking about games,
Exactly.
Right.
Like I'm a professional working as a professional artist, and I do lots of comic shows, and I've had people who know me from the show come over. I'm like, man, I really enjoy what you guys are doing. Like I had one guy who was like so inspired by the work that we're doing. He's like, yeah, man, I really love, it's kind of got me to get out of my shell and kind of do my own shows and, get to talk to people and do that stuff just from you guys. And he's like, you and Tony have this real, chemistry that, and the other guys have all this chemistry that, been friends for a while. And it's more like sitting in on a conversation between friends rather than just a podcast.
Right. And I think that's something special, something that people take note of, like you said, like the people come by the table or come see you, they'll talk to you. I'm positive somebody at PAX was like, "Yo, you're from fucking Throwdown. What's good, man?"
Yeah, it happens, man, and and I'm glad people feel that way because that's what it's about. It's like we're just here for, I mean, it's funny because we are here for the fans, but at the same time, we're also just doing it for us. I look forward to doing Throwdown. It's not like, oh fuck, I gotta do this now. I'm like, yeah, Throwdown, man, let's fucking go. You know what I'm saying? It's not work. It's just fun. Every single week is like that, And I'm glad that the show is just getting bigger and bigger all the fucking time. It's crazy to me. It's like because in my mind, like I realize how many subscribers we have, how many followers we have, but in my mind, it's just us 5 in a room talking. That's it,
And how many times do you do podcasts per
week? We do minimum 2 a week, which is the regular show, right, on Thursday, and then the one on Sunday. And I'm not even like exaggerating, we only take off 2 weeks a year, which is the last 2 weeks of the year. Other than that, we always keep it going, because the fans want it.
It's also about consistency. I mean, the more you kind of fall off the rails, the more it's just the way society is right now. They kind of forget, you know what I mean? Or they'll do one of those things like, yo man, where's the show? It's like, a lot of times we've had to kind of move the show maybe up a day or down a day because of whatever, Tony's going to PAX, or we're going to be doing some E3 stuff, so we kind of have to move the show around to kind of accommodate it, but still do the show. And they'll be like, yo man, where's the show?
Yeah, it's pretty dope when people are like asking for your stuff. It's like, yo, like I've been waiting for this like all day. Like, where is it? When is it happening?
Yeah, I find it funny, like when we went to PAX, I had to record it on Wednesday, right? Because normally we do it Thursday nights, right? So we recorded it, so the show goes up on Thursday, and we usually get pretty good numbers. The show was not doing anything. I'm like, damn, man, like I thought there was a good show. What happened? Guess what happens Friday? The numbers go up like normal. Like, okay, they were just waiting for Friday, even though we told them you could listen to it a day early.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Well, I also think that the show also, at least our show ends a little bit late on Thursday. So
yeah.
Kind of catch it on Friday.
Yeah, that was by design too, because it's just we used to originally do Throw It on Tuesday. That sucked because a bunch of shit would happen on Wednesday and Thursday. It's like, yeah. And then by the time we come back with it next time, it's like no one cares anymore.
It's already old news by then, which is also funny because it's like you think about like gaming magazines in the old days. It's like you were literally getting that shit like a month off. It's like, yo man, we went to E3. It's like, wait, E3 was like a month ago.
Yeah. Does E3 happen later now? What's happening?
Yeah. And in our situation, it's even funnier. It's like you see Game Informer, our big E3 special. It's like, dude, I was literally just there a month ago.
It's our 2 E3.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, it's fun, man. I'm, glad you got us on here, to talk and do what we do, man, just in a different setting with more friends, which is always fun,
Yeah, more people. And we were just talking about this offline, but also on here as well. Is like, this is crazy because we have so many people on this podcast right now. This is probably the most people I've had at once in a podcast.
History.
I think we've maxed out the amount of hanging out with people, by the way.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah, on Throw It Down with the last episode we had the dudes from Spawn on Me. Shout out to those guys, another great podcast.
Oh yeah.
We actually, there was a crazy episode because we had the dudes from Spawn on Me, and we had Paris from Gamer Tag Radio, the mother of all fucking gaming podcasts right there.
Gamer Tag Radio right there.
Yeah. So we had all these dudes on, and it was like, yo, we're about to break Google right now. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I forgot, I was yelling about something. These guys were watching it. I was like, yo, let me get in there. And it just went nuts. And then the end of the episode got really interesting. It went in a whole other, direction, it went into race and stuff, but it was still civil. Like, this is interesting, That's the other thing I like about Throwdown. It's like just like a regular conversation. Even though it's structured, obviously, you never know where this shit will go. And my thing is, as the host, if I see it going in an interesting spot, I'm like, oh, I'm going to let this go. This is cool.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I also found one of the things that we, also kind of left over from the conversations we used to have as, when we were kids, was that essentially listening to everybody's, opinions. It may not be your opinion, but it's, you still should give the person a respect of listening to their opinion, no matter what it might be, even if you disagree with it, because you may find that there's something in there that you understand, and you can come to an understanding. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Get you to think outside the box.
Yeah, for real, exactly. Yeah, because there's a lot, I mean, not to get too sidetracked, but there's a lot of this going on. Like, basically, you see somebody doesn't agree with you, you either shut them out or try to get them to shut up. It's like, why are you doing that?
It's like the simplest answer. Rather than actually have a conversation with that person, it's more like block. I don't want to hear what they have to say. It's like,
I've had somebody do that to me before, and I was livid because I wasn't saying anything that was against what was already just facts.
Yeah.
It was a Facebook conversation. Somebody blocked me. I'm like, yo, why are you blocking me? Like, if you want, we should be having a conversation about this.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, you can have an adult conversation and still listen and still disagree without it turning into calling people names or all kinds of other BS.
Yeah. Well, isn't that the stigma now that we're in right now? It's like when you don't like a person's opinion, you just attack them for looks or how they they base their opinion on.
People just want to fight the fight. That's what people like to do. And now that it's all on the internet, it's like, hey, what else am I gonna do but use my words? People love fighting, man.
Yeah, and now, like you said, with the internet, there's no filter anymore, so people just go at it, you know?
I always say the internet is a direct connection to people's brains. All the stupid shit that you got in your head, that leaks right onto the screen. See, when you're standing in the room with somebody, all the crazy bullshit that you're thinking in your head, you won't say that to them.
You gotta put a sense on it, especially on YouTube, and you have that anonymity you can hide behind. You know, the little moniker or whatever you use for if you find a way not to have to use your real name or YouTube. That's where all that shit talking comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody try to talk shit. I dare you, motherfucker.
Or it comes from Jamel and it's Uncharted and it's from some dude saying something real quick.
Oh my fucking god.
He's here now.
Hey, I'm here now. So, it's been a long time since I really do anything in game chat, right? I mean, most of the time you get on the game, you're in a party. So I was like, you know what? These kids sound stupid. I'm just going to talk shit just because I can.
Nah, the best part of the whole thing is how at the end of everything, and it's all said and done, Jamel goes, so that was a successful troll, huh?
For a little bit of backstory for everybody who doesn't know exactly what was happening, they were playing, what were you guys playing, Overwatch?
Uncharted. We were playing Uncharted multiplayer.
And there was somebody running out the mouth talking that good shit.
Boy?
And Jamel, Dream Manifested being he's like, oh, you talking shit? And so he kind of just went with it and kind of battled this dude online. And then, like, after the end of it, what was it? The dude was just like, all right, so we going to play again or something? What was it?
It was like trying to get Feral Quest.
Jamel just walked away from the mic without saying anything to anybody like he normally does. And these people, they came on the mic to me and said, I don't care who's on the mic right now. Anybody that was on the mic, add me, man. I want to add you so we can play again, whatever. It was just like, how is this even a thing? Like, he was just talking shit. Like, literally, going back to what we were talking about, this is one of those moments where this guy was, like, trying to fight us. And I said, shut up. And he goes, man, I'll kick your ass, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, you're not. We're on a video game. Stop talking nonsense. Like, we're not gonna meet each other ever. Like,
come see me, man. Come see me and put them hands on you.
Yeah.
Hey, man, those guys will come to your house, they find out your information. There's a situation
shit out there, man. Let them come.
People are crazy.
Let them come.
They're gonna have a bad time with me. I'm telling them, like,
I'm gonna give them that grappler Baki treatment.
Oh my.
So this is a good segue because we just talked about how you guys were playing Uncharted, but what have you guys been playing overall? What has been on your docket?
Uncharted. Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine. Please, by all means. You aren't going to lie this time.
Doom. All Doom.
It's all about Doom, man. It's
all
about
Doom. I wasn't even that big of a Doom fan growing up, and I was just like, I don't know, I guess just the fact that it took so long to make and they still made it, I was just like, I have to try it, I mean, I played 1, 2, and 3. It wasn't like, I didn't play them, but, man, just, it was I mean, I kind of half expected it to be great just because of Wolfenstein. That really has a lot to do with it because of how amazing that single player was, and I really didn't think that they could ever make a single player game just by itself like that. But Doom definitely probably should have followed suit on that. But I'm just spitballing things out here. Multiplayer isn't exactly the greatest thing in the world with them.
That's nice. So Kev, what have you been playing? I haven't heard what you've been up to.
Been playing some Uncharted for the last couple days. I just got FTL because my roommate's been playing it a bunch, and it's silly.
What is FTL?
It's like an indie game from 2012. Yeah, you're just like a ship trying to escape some rebels. So everywhere you go, it's randomly generated, and you just control like a little ship, and you try not to die.
2D.
Like a spaceship?
Yeah, like a spaceship.
It's 2D, right? Top-down 2D.
Yep, indeed. Which also brings me to the my most anticipated game of the year is definitely No Man's Sky. So
okay.
I'll only got like a few weeks left. And
yeah, I changed mine to his.
Excited?
I changed mine to his.
You little shit.
Never mind Chris's. Forget it. I've sold you out.
I noticed.
Chris, what have you been up to? What have you been playing?
Well, Dark Souls absorbed my life for like the last 3.5 weeks, and I actually bought Doom, and I didn't play it because I was playing with Brett. We were just doing Dark Souls multiplayer, which was going nuts, and then I only started playing Doom yesterday, and Doom is fantastic, by the way. It's awesome, but yeah, most of my time's been just obsessing with Dark Souls.
And Chris, you're OG Doom too, right?
Oh yeah, I played the first one. I go back up. You know, I remember Wolfenstein and Doom came out, and back when there was Apogee and Rise of the Triad and all those games. But you know, Doom was one of my favorite FPSs. I remember when you used to have to get third-party software just to play multiplayer.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Doom had multiplayer when I had it at the time. Like, of course, my internet wasn't strong enough to really support it that way, but I remember when I first played it, and I was just like, "Yo, what is this?"
Yeah, you know what's funny about that game. This is kind of slightly unrelated. The original Doom, you realize that game is actually 2D, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You saw that game theorist including you.
Yeah.
You turn around and the sprites follow you.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, you literally uses this kind of overhead map section of it, and that's the way it works. It's really weird. But
it is.
Yeah,
but the one thing about it is that any system can run it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope, though.
Long time ago, I used to make Doom levels, and I used to try to make multi-level stages, but the stage doesn't have multi-levels. It's just a flat thing. So you had to use teleporters to trick people, like you'd make stairs, and you just make a dark area, and it would just teleport them to another area of the map, and it would be another floor.
That's pretty smart.
Yo, Chris, they got Snap Map, man, and you're gonna try that. You can make your own levels now.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be trying that.
And Doom?
Is that done in a way where it's like Mario Maker?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's kind of like that. I gotta get to that.
Let's go.
Yeah, you have to be a jerk and fill a room with like 1,000 imps. So it's like, step here, and then they all fall on you.
It's the worst. ItsYoru, what have you been playing?
Finally got my hands on Life is Strange, and that shit is fucking... Good God, man.
That's a good game,
The emotions in there. I mean, you kind of... If you're kind of an antisocial person, you kind of start developing a bond with Max, and it just kind of gets deeper and deeper. I actually remember Will talking about it, and Will found out about it through Kevin, and Kevin was just like, that game tugs at your heartstrings. And then I haven't played any of the new shooters, honestly, or Uncharted or Doom. I'm falling so far behind. I've been playing. Yeah, seriously, I've been playing.
Hydrates and shit.
Man, shut up. I was about to say, fuck it. Yeah.
So, Jamel, did you already say what you've been playing?
Nah.
Well,
nobody cares.
Your mama. I still do the occasional division. Is Quantum Break. Uncharted is like the top. I'm almost finished with the campaign, and still playing that Quantum Break.
Okay.
I can't stay away from Tekken. I've been streaming the ranked matches, so I'm chasing that rank up.
Getting that ass whipped?
Whipping that ass.
You mean he's getting his head fucking kicked in, right? What was it last time? Yeah, I remember
that. They be disconnected when they about to lose, man. They be hiding from me. They be rage quitting on me, man.
What about you, Rami Death?
All right, Doom, like I already said, fucking loving it, and I just got off playing Uncharted, which is another great game. You know, I hate when they fucking do this shit though. It's like you'll have a bunch of months, there's no games to play, right? Bam, shit, there's games everywhere. Like I had Dark Souls 3, I had to rush through that to beat Uncharted. Then I had to rush through Uncharted to get to fucking Doom. You know, so it's crazy. So I'm gonna try to go back because I do want to go back to Dark Souls 3 and try to get as many trophies as possible. Definitely want to get the platinum in Uncharted. What happens with Doom about that platinum? I may be a little trickier. That game is like I'm playing on normal at the hard, so I can just imagine like on the harder difficulties, you know. And that's pretty much it right there. So I'm playing just Doom right now. I'm not really messing with the multiplayer. I don't really care about that stuff. But actually not made. I have to play because I'm going to review the fucking game. So I have to play it, you know. But you know, whatever. The only thing with the multiplayer, it looks too much like Quake to me. It's like Quake is cool, but it's like I want a Doom multiplayer. I don't want a Quake multiplayer, you know. So I don't know.
Fuck both their multiplayers. I want Unreal.
Yeah, right. Unreal.
Yeah, I want Unreal too.
Give me 04 back.
What was it? Unreal Championship? That was the game where you had like melee weapons as well. You could just like zoom in at people.
Yeah, that was trash.
I love that game.
2004.
You would.
Listen, give me swords and fucking the ability to deflect bullets, and I'm happy.
Like, fucking
I didn't see you using what's his name on what's his name? Genji. I didn't see you using Genji that much though.
I used them, but like I wanted to use all the other characters too. Like,
I thought you'd be
Your ass was trying to deflect them bullets.
anyone that fucking started that was just like, oh, I'm gonna cut bullets, and you fucking filled up with it, man.
Yeah.
Fucking, that Hanzo though.
That Hanzo though.
Yeah. Fucking stupid memes popping up everywhere too. Now I'm just like, I can't wait till this goddamn game launches.
Do we miss anyone for who was playing what?
Me.
Emilio, there we go. It's hard to keep track now.
I'm missing somebody.
I'm missing
I just finished Uncharted 4. Great game. And I'm still playing the game Republic by Camouflage.
Nice.
It's a very good game. I liked it. I mean, I played it on iPhone and stuff like that, but it's actually a lot better to play on the... You know, there's also a PC version and there's also a PlayStation 4 version. But they actually, for the other versions, it's kind of a point-and-click thing where you kind of, you know, point there to a direction and you can go there. But the way the new one works, it's almost that they added control switches because it's kind of like Resident Evil a little bit, like the original ones.
Oh, cool.
So it's like locked camera angles, but the thing is that you can control the cameras, and then what you do is you're like in control of all the security system, so you can hack doors and do all kinds of weird shit to the guards to distract them, so you can get your character through things.
Oh shit! And this is called Republic?
Yeah, it's called Republic. It's by Ryan Payton and Camouflage. Ryan Payton used to work at Konami, at Kojima Productions. He was the producer of Metal Gear Solid 4. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Ryan, right? Yeah, I know the name.
Yeah, Ryan Payton. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was his Kickstarter game. After he left Halo, which is crazy, he left Halo and then he went to
Halo. Yeah.
Wait, isn't David Hayter also doing a voice in Jennifer Hale in that game?
They're both in the game. Kari Payton is also in the game.
Oh.
The guy who plays Cyborg and Drebin from Metal Gear Solid 4.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. This game.
Yeah, man.
So, but it's more of it's like a kind of a combination of original Metal Gear and Resident Evil because there's a lot of sneaking aspects of it. But the one thing about it is, unlike Metal Gear or most games, you don't really die in the game. They actually just imprison you, and you have to kind of escape from the prison
every time. Okay.
Every single time they catch you, or you can try to as they escort you to the little prison. What you could do is you could lock off the doors to stop the guard from following you in, and you can get her out.
Okay.
So, but whole game. The only problem with it for me, I haven't been able to play it consistently, is that my work keeps me up pretty damn late, and for me to take on like a story-based game like at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning, it's not the best of ideas because I'll probably be up till 6 a.m.
Oh man.
Uncharted, you could do little there's actual little chapter ends and stuff like that, and you could stop the game and then play it back up again. There's nothing to it, but yeah, for Republic, you need to pay attention a little bit more.
I really love what they did with Uncharted, whereas they gave you the ability to kind of go through and binge it if you really want to.
Yeah.
Or you can kind of take it upon yourself to like take breaks, but it's also like. It seems like, I mean, I've played all the other Uncharted games, so maybe I can't say this, but it seems like there's this ability to be able to kind of understand what's going on, regardless of like which other game you play, or any of that. Like, I feel like it lends itself to a style where you can kind of like pick up on things pretty easily.
Yeah.
I mean, what's really helpful about at least the new console is the fact that you can literally just put your console into rest mode. And then come back, and you're literally standing in the same point that you were where you left off, as opposed to kind of reloading a checkpoint, and then all of a sudden you're in some different location that you'd never remembered.
Pretty dope.
True.
You don't remember the objective for sure. I always get lost from that.
So we're going to move on to the gaming news. There's a couple of things that have been going on throughout this week. Some of it's bigger, some of it's not as big, but things that I think are interesting to talk about. First and foremost, I know a lot of you guys love anime as well.
Yeah, anime.
And Tony got a podcast.
Yeah,
That sounds convincing.
Yeah, we have an anime podcast we do once a month. So yeah, we do like anime.
Kind of like
You like it
A little bit.
What was the last anime game that you bought that you were just really excited for?
What the fuck?
really.
Wow.
Dude, every anime game has been crap, son.
Yeah,
in
no.
history.
That is not true.
You know,
Naruto games are not bad.
Naruto?
Not bad.
Nah, son, no.
you know what? I'm gonna go back. Chris, you can agree with me on this one. Sword of the Berserk. That was a good one for Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah, like,
Oh, damn.
To go back there.
you gotta go back to 1999 for that one.
Yeah.
Technically, Blaze Blue has an anime too.
Well,
Yeah, see, I'm
they
gonna
didn't
say
have it
Pokemon.
before the actual game.
I'm
though.
gonna say Pokemon.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I got one.
Also, another situation where that one was actually based off of a comic book. The comic
Yeah,
book.
the
came
manga.
first.
Yeah.
I actually was gonna say Dot Hack. That was probably the last one where I really.
So good.
Dog,
Yeah.
remember that.
Are you eating ice cream, motherfucker?
It's funny.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's funny about the dot. It's funny about the dot hack games because it was literally a game, an anime about being in a game, and then they make a game about an anime being in a game. It's kind of meta.
Yeah.
Come
And
full
yeah, it
fucking
wasn't
circle.
online, even though it was an MMO, basically.
Yeah.
Actually, wait. The Digimon game that came out, Cyber Sleuth. That wasn't
Yeah, that
fucking
was pretty
bad.
good.
I love that game. It was.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It brought me back to the JRPG roots. It was heavy grinding, favorite Digimon, Digivolving, and everything.
But one thing, Digimon Bros.
You Digimon Bro, you said?
Yeah, Digimon Bros. Yeah, Pokemon. It's like Pokemon is the Michael Jordan of the anime creature, capture things, and Digimon is probably like the retard at the end of the bench that gets
Oh my god.
Oh shit.
Damn.
You went there.
Oh my
I was,
god.
I was gonna drop a name, but then I went, wait, I'm in a group full of people who like anime. Never mind, they're not gonna know who I'm talking about. So.
Oh my god.
That is offensive, sir.
I,
I think basketball's the game with the ball that looks like an egg, right?
yeah, and you kick it through those two little pointy things.
That's
Yeah,
That's egg thing. That's the egg game.
Or gold.
Basketball's the game. Basketball's the game where with one shot you get like 10 points.
Yeah, there we go. Or is that bowling?
So what about this anime game? What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
Dragon Ball.
Oh, I knew it.
Oh.
I knew it was fucking coming.
And I don't know if any of you guys. I know Icarus played Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1.
I had that.
I did. Too.
That's the MMO of Dragon Ball Z, right?
Kind-ish.
Yeah.
Well, MMO.
It's not. There was an MMO. Yeah, there was an MMO. That's not the MMO. That's
Oh,
just
okay.
like the next like
It was-
Budokai, but it's more online based than anything. Or Tenkaichi. Like if you
Yeah,
ever played the last one, Tenkaichi is like that. But
What was the MMO, the Korean one?
Oh, I don't really remember. Which
What
one.
was that, like Dragon Ball Universe or something like that?
what the hell are you talking about?
The
There was-
Korean MMO that you can
Oh,
and the-
yeah, man. I don't know what the name of that thing was. We never got it, did we?
you could have played it.
Yeah, but it had all the Korean language on it.
Made
Didn't it?
download a language pack.
You don't need to read nothing.
Listen.
Let me tell you something about something. When I was in college and my friend wanted to play Final Mix and all that shit, Kingdom Hearts shit,
Tell me that shit wasn't the fucking
they opened up the damn PlayStation and all that shit. They couldn't read the shit that was going on. They just had to trial and error. All right, we're not gonna click this one to get it right here.
That Terra battle at the end, the what was it, like 90% you would fucking die if you clicked on a fucking wrong word. That battle took 30 fucking days to beat. Jesus Christ, dude.
Awesome.
So the main reason why I brought it up was to see if there was anyone actually excited for it. It doesn't really seem like that's the case. Okay, you are.
No, yeah, I like the first one.
Okay.
It was decent.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, again, like like we were laughing at earlier, there really isn't that many that are all like great. So it's nice to see something that's good. Like the Naruto games look pretty good too. You know what I mean? Like it's something like that. It's not amazing, but they're pretty. They're about as good as you're gonna get from a game about an anime. I mean, animes are tough to make games about.
I mean, the one thing about anime games is it's kind of like, especially there's already a fan base based on it's already into the thing, so they kind of can kind of shit out games.
Yeah,
and people will still buy them.
Exactly.
I mean,
people buy them the Persona games.
Yeah. Oh, the Persona and the Sword Online games that came out for the PS Vita and stuff.
Again, for Persona, again, that one is one that was actually a game series and that became an anime. So it's kind of a different thing. So that's why the quality really hasn't gone down in those Persona games, because it's.
Oh, actually, yeah. Most anticipated game of the year is Persona 5.
Oh my God!
What? So
Man.
many people are so excited for that game. So why, Kevin? Why is it that you're so excited about? Persona?
Because Persona 4 is probably the funniest and best game I've ever played. I bought a PlayStation Vita just for Persona 4 Golden.
Oh my God!
Played it about 3 times and then sold my Vita eventually because there's nothing else I ever played on it.
Yeah, man, I still do remote play on mine.
Yeah, I love my Vita, man. I have like 150 games for that thing. So.
Good fuck.
Yeah. Wow.
That's dedication.
I told you, I'm in the 1,500 to 2,000 games range.
He's
Wow.
He's one of the guys that is keeping the console alive. Hey, listen.
I think I'm doing it by myself because I got everything basically. So
that's exactly what they say is keeping the Vita around.
Him.
It's like those guys that actually own Vitas are buying literally most of the games for the console.
And I did, but then I realized that there were like 2 games a year that weren't already on my PS4.
That's
yeah,
fair.
but like games like, I mean, I don't want to go into it forever, but games like Killzone and Persona and Muramasa and things like that, they make it worth it. I mean, obviously, some of the games like Dragon's Crown, they came out on the PS3 as well, but there's a lot of games that are very well done for a portable system. I mean, it was one of those things where it just didn't work out. I mean, it's still a pretty damn good system for what it is.
Oh, it's an awesome system. I loved it.
There's not enough. I don't blame anybody for selling it because there really isn't a ton. But if you look, there's stuff for everybody. There's still stuff for everybody, except for the basketball fans. We got kind of dicks, but yeah, everything else there's a game for. I mean, Street Fighter, Blaze Blue. I mean, fighting, all that stuff. So.
And it leads into another interesting question that I have for you guys pertaining to games in general. I mean, you guys know that I'm not a huge fan of Metacritic or review scores in general.
No.
I don't think a lot of us are.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in this room is, bro.
I'm so glad that you guys said that.
Give you a score of 6 out of
Bunnies.
6 out of 15.
6 out of potatoes.
Spoiler alert, nobody here likes that shit.
And there's this whole controversy around the Washington Post reviewing Uncharted 4 with a 4 out of 10.
I need to clarify that, by the way, because people are not. I don't know why no one's reporting this. That 4 out of 10 review is a joke review. It's not the actual review from Washington Post. Their real review was 4 out of 4. They gave it a high score, right? But regardless of that, right? People still made a petition to get that taken down. It's like, you guys really are going out of your way to get a petition done because they gave the game a low score. And before that, if you guys remember, the woman who reviewed the game for IGN, she was getting shit because she gave it an 8.8 out of 10. It's like, really, guys? This is where we're going now? It's like, basically, when the review scores for Uncharted came out, it was so crazy because on one side, you had the Xbox guys getting pissed off that the game was getting such high scores, right? And then on the flip side, the PlayStation guys were mad that it wasn't getting universal high scores, like universal 10s. It's like why do people care so much about scores? I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a fucking number, and a number based on somebody's review. Like it's an opinion. It's an opinion at the end of the day. Like people always going, oh no, it's supposed to be objective. You know what? You could try to be the most objective person in the world. You're never going to be objective. You know why? Because you're a human being. All the experiences from your entire life shape what goes into your review. You can't help that shit. So you know what you should do? Let's say if you're a person that is relying on reviews, right? Find a reviewer, a couple of reviews that you kind of align with. You know, like, hey, that person, you know, whenever they say something, I kind of agree with them. I'm going to trust them. Or do what I do. I just trust my damn friends. You know, I don't like me. I write reviews, you know, but I don't read. I haven't like read an actual professional review in years. I just read what my friends write from other sites and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Will, if you did a review, I'm watching your shit. You know, because I trust you. You know, like some guy from IGN. I don't know IGN. Yeah. I don't know you, motherfucker. Yeah, like, you know, I would trust a review from anybody in this room over somebody from like IGN or GameSpot or something. You know, because like you guys are like trustworthy, and you could even be like this. Let's say, for example, Jamel, right? Let's say you have a history with me that you don't like games that I like, or vice versa. I'm like, okay, if you like this game, I may not like it, and vice versa. You can trust your friends in that way too. You know what I'm saying? So I say that's more trustworthy than an actual like professional review, or even better, we live in 2016. Watch some gameplay videos.
Yeah, just watch the Twitch streamers. Just do that.
That's it. You know, Chris, then you tell me about that. You were watching something like, okay, I'm getting this.
Yeah, I look at a lot of streams like, oh, let me see how this is, and I'm like, oh, I'm liking what I'm seeing, you know, liking the story, liking the gameplay, whatever. You see it for yourself, right, without actually controlling it, and that influences my decision a lot more. Reviews are completely subjective. You carry your biases wherever you go. If you love like JRPGs and then you have to review a sports game, chances are you're not going to like it, right? You're already carrying biases into it. So scores are BS, and you know, well, this petition is absolute BS. Like, stop being babies. Like, even if the guy gave it a 4 out of 10 and he hated Uncharted, he's entitled to his opinion.
Yeah.
You know.
But it is to the point of listening to people that you trust. When a guy says they should have stopped at the first game, I didn't have to read anything more. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, I'm not gonna align with this guy's views, so I don't need to read it.
Well,
I didn't even know it was a joke one because I was just straight up not paying attention to it at all. I was like, this is stupid, and the guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, I couldn't think of a least reliable source to go to for your video game news than the Washington Post.
Right.
like, hello. It's like, hey, I want to know how good this game is. Let me go buy the Washington Post and find out.
Yeah, come on.
Meanwhile, I'll also look in the Wall Street Journal for game reviews as well as the New York Times.
Yeah. And the craziest thing about it too is there's so much of the issue of people paying so much attention to the actual score itself. Like, if people took the time to just look at what the dude was saying, they're like, oh, he's just fucking, like, he's just playing.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Like I've read bad reviews, and I've then, you know, like, not bad reviews, but reviews that were, you know, when they gave them a low score. And I'm reading a review, I'm like, this actually sounds like stuff that I'd like to play. I think I might get this.
Yeah. Yeah, or the reverse, right? You read, like, for example, for me, right? I'll read a Call of Duty review, right? 10 out of 10, perfect game, first-person military shooter. No thanks. You know, like, it doesn't matter what the score is. You know, like, seriously, don't pay attention to anything. But, you know, and you know, here's the thing. You know, even as a reviewer, which frustrates me, right? Like, I'll write this very well articulated review, right? What do motherfuckers do? Scroll all the way to the bottom. Oh, you gave it this. Why? It's like, you would know that if you read the fucking review. You know, like, if it was up to me, I'd just yank that number out of there and force them to read the shit. And you know, the thing that gets me, and you know what? If they don't agree with me, that's fine. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, Tony, you tell them about Far Cry Primal.
Oh yeah. By the way,
wait, before you even do that, I wanted to say one quick thing about that too. Is that, like, there's been so many times when people would write a review and then they would give it a score, and you can't really find anything in there that's like, why is this game like an 8 instead of like a 9 or 10? Like, the only bad thing you said was that the save points were too far away or some shit like that. Like,
yeah,
sometimes it doesn't correlate.
a lot of times it doesn't correlate because, again, using Call of Duty as an example, right? If you read an IGN review, right, like you read it's like, okay, this guy is obviously going to give it a 6 out of 10. Then at the end, 9.5 out of 10. It's like, wait, what? And then, of course, you see Call of Duty shits all over the page. It's like, okay, I think I know what's going on here.
Yeah.
But that translates into what Manny was talking about. So I played Far Cry Primal. This is one of the games I actually got before it actually came out, right? So I played it, and then my review was out on the embargo day, which was on Friday, right? I got accused. You're gonna love this. I got accused of being paid off by Ubisoft because I gave it too much of a high score. Because every other site gave it a medium score, and I was the only guy that gave it a high score. So I was obviously paid off. And I'm like, okay, I work for the Coalition.com. You're gonna tell me they're gonna pay off me instead of a guy from IGN who also actually happened to give it a pretty decent score. So it's just funny how the way people work. It's like you're basing your opinion on a review for a game you haven't even played yet. The game wasn't out.
They don't like to see. Basically, they want to see a score for reassurance, right?
Yes.
So they don't really care what you have to say. They just want to know that their thoughts and their beliefs on a game align with what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So when they don't, they make up any excuse that they can, like, oh, you just don't like it, or you got paid off. I mean, I saw recently on your Twitter that you said every game review of the last year you got accused of being paid off. That's exactly basically how they are.
Yeah.
That's how they are, dude. And you know what, honestly, that goes into the same type of hate as anything else. You know what I mean? It's just people trying to look for a fight. That's nothing new.
And I mean, that kind of translates, whether it be gaming or anything else. A lot of people, like when it comes to having debates or really arguments, is they're not doing any kind of research to gain an understanding. They're looking whatever they can. All they're looking for is whatever supports the ideas they already have. And they're not gaining any knowledge or depth with that. And so, like,
that's,
yeah. And so
you go into a debate trying to learn, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Absorb as much information as you possibly can. And if your opinion was you didn't do any research into it, and then you come back and you learn from it, and you're saying, okay, I was wrong. You learn from that. You gain knowledge, and that's more important than being right,
That's unrealistic because people won't be that way. They just won't. And I mean, no, I mean, it's pessimistic, obviously, but it's just the way the world is. I mean, look at our presidential, debates and everything. Half the stuff is them just getting mad at each other for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, half of it doesn't even matter. Most of it they probably won't even execute on, but yet they still debate each other, get mad, and call each other names. I mean,
throwing water across the screen and shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, that's the kind of stuff that, this world is, kind of based on nowadays, though. Unfortunately. You just kind of have to adapt and be able to, I mean, look, if you're likable and you're intelligent, the right people will see you for what you are, right?
Certainly.
So it doesn't really matter in the end what these idiots are talking about, because bottom line is you wouldn't want them as people you would associate with in real life or whatever. So I mean, what does it matter about them? The people that are intelligent, that understand what's going on, will follow you and will appreciate what you do correctly.
Mm-hmm. And that's right. Like, if the next time I happen to do a review, it probably won't even have a score. It'll just be, whether I think it's a good buy, whether, if it's something you would spend money on.
Like, is it worth the $60 or should you wait for a price drop kind of deal?
Yeah.
I think we're all getting into that, actually.
Yeah, that's what the overall Black Oni threat podcast crew is just going to be doing for any reviews. Is getting rid of all the scores, because like we've already started doing that for all of our written stuff, but now that we got more people kind of doing that in the collective, yeah, I'm hoping more and more outlets drop the scores altogether, because I've seen so many people debate like something that we're about to actually talk about now. This whole like Call of Duty versus Battlefield, when the PS4 just dropped and Call of Duty Ghosts and Battlefield 4 were out, and people were like, "Oh, Call of Duty got a higher score than Battlefield. It's a better game." It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Stupid.
It's like, no, that's not what your conversation should be centered on. Like, step away for a second from the Metacritic and talk about the content in the game. Is this what you want?
But see, that's the thing. We're not their target audience. What their target audience is people that see high numbers and they'll go into a game store and purchase it. They're not targeting us. I mean,
targeting the basic consumer.
Exactly.
Well, actually, with those reviews and those scores, they are also targeting us because look at what we're doing right now. We're having a debate over it. I mean, any press is good press. Right?
In a way, I remember you telling me that last time. It's like any press is good press, but I mean at the same time, it's true.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just like a moment of clarity. It's like
because you want it to be more than what it is, and that's what it is. It's good press. I mean, there's no way that they could get the same amount, garner the same amount of debate and discussion about themselves and about the games without this kind of finite answer on things. You wouldn't swing both ways if it was like no mo. You know what? I'm just gonna stop the conversation now. I'm done. I quit. Move on. Yeah. I mean, it's like I keep saying. It's really just continues to boil down to a finite thing gives you something to talk about, whereas being generic, being broad, sometimes can just give people that whole like, oh well, if you don't agree with it, then you're stupid, and there's not really a discussion about it.
Mm-hmm. And this leads us into this next, I guess, conversation / warring idea. Some people don't give a fuck about any military shooter in general, which I appreciate and understand. But with the two kind of big military shooter trailers coming out recently, again, going along the line with like the Collision, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare versus Battlefield 1, which one is more interesting to you?
Yeah, I mean, as a person who doesn't really care for this genre, Battlefield 1 actually seems more interesting. You don't really get any games based in the First World War.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's usually World War II or Modern War.
Yeah, that's it.
It's a new take on it. Oh,
exactly. So by default, that one's more interesting to me because it's something that we have. The last time I played a game set in World War I was Valiant Hearts, and that wasn't even a shooting game.
Oh my god!
Can we consider that accurate?
Well, it's a war game. It's not a shooting game.
It's not a shooter.
It's a war game. World War I game to be specific. But, it should be pretty fun. But the only thing that worries me is because you guys could vouch for this because I can't. But apparently the Battlefield games are not really known for their great campaigns. So I'm hoping this one will change that.
Mm-hmm.
They have. Go ahead, Chris.
No, you go ahead, bud.
I was going to say they have great characters, great music, and great cinematography, but overall the story means jack shit. But then again, so it doesn't every shooter. You know what I mean? There's not many shooters that really give you a impactful story that means a whole lot. Right? At least first-person shooters like Call of Duty and Battlefield.
Yeah.
Apologies for the audio, by the way, guys. I'm running off 4G because I'm not at home.
Oh, okay.
Just clarify it now.
No worries, man.
Well, personally, as the shooter extraordinaire, you know what I'm saying? To be honest, I could care less for either at this point. I mean, we've been playing Call of Duty for a decade. Battlefield, I mean, Battlefield is always the 6-year game. We all know that. But as far as like playing it online, is really, if all of my friends have it, it's cool because someone, yeah, man, let's get in the tank, get in the vehicle, blah, blah, blah. Other than that, I don't care for Battlefield. In Call of Duty, I mean, it's just Call of Duty. I just want to pick up a game that I can hop in for about 45 minutes, play along. I rarely ever play the damn campaign. So I'm just ready for the other shit.
You just like the simplicity of it, picking up a remote quick match, and then going from there, right?
Exactly.
What about you, Kev? You look so amused by the military shooters right now.
I was just gonna write pew pew in the chat, but I decided I don't know. I don't really play them that much. I generally tend to buy them when everybody else has them, and I'll play them for a few hours and then be like, yep, that was a game.
Remember that time we bought Battlefield 4 and we tried to play it a lot and we couldn't? God. Yeah.
I played it with Jordan nonstop because he was randomly. It was when I was teaching and grading, and he was randomly online at like 2 in the afternoon. So.
Oh my god.
Shout out to Power Kills.
Yeah.
I miss Jordan.
Oh, fuck. So what about you, Emilio?
As far as shooters,
as far as shooters, as far as these specific shooters, so the whole trailers and everyone got all hyped and
I did find the Battlefield 1 idea, a lot more interesting because again, we don't get very many World War I shooters, and it's nice to kind of go back because I've been saying this for a while, like, okay, we did the Modern War, when Modern Warfare came out, that was when we kind of jumped out of the whole World War II era stuff, and it was kind of like more modern semi-future stuff. And I feel like, with all the graphical power of these new consoles, even this was in PlayStation 3 time, I'm like, why don't we go back to World War II or World War I? Check this, we could do like a forest, or we can do really nice, complicated areas. But they just they said, nah, we're just gonna do modern stuff.
I'm guessing it was all like
the terrorists, usual junk.
They probably just got a bunch of people and asked what setting would you rather see, and everybody had probably played a World War I or II game, and so they probably just got pushed. I don't know.
But I feel like here's the other thing with World War II stuff. Most of the guys that have played that game are older now. There's a whole new generation of people who can play World War II games. But oh my God, this is great.
Exactly. No. The generation that's pushing up now, it says that they'll be able to experience World War I. They'll be able to dig the trenches, go through mustard gas, putting on the masks and everything, which I think is a great concept, and it also at least a little bit about history, which is something that's pretty fucking cool.
Especially the guns. Most of the kids today don't really understand bolt actions and stuff like that.
Like the M1 garage. Oh my God. Yeah.
I mean, what's the rechamber after every shot?
Yeah, then they're gonna hate it. They're not gonna know how to put stopping power on it.
Unless they do some bullshit in that game where it's like, we have this new experimental gun.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna do that. There's no doubt about it.
Just give us a flamethrower and it'll be good.
What I could kind of tell, there's a couple of things. So, just as far as the guns, Black Ops 3 is also doing something where they're releasing kind of new guns with DLC, and they do have a couple of guns that are semi-bolt action. They have stuff that's kind of like an M1 there. It's more like a cartridge where you have a few bullets, and then you have to reload the cartridge, things like that. Maybe kind of test the waters, see if people are going to be actually using these guns to kind of just like a base test. But Call of Duty and Battlefield and all of them, they understand that pretty much their genre is cyclical. There's only going to be a certain degree future before you really tap into that real sci-fi, like lasers and shit like that, versus just kind of returning to recycling the whole thing. As far as shooters the ones that I'm really looking out for as far as shooters wise, is Titanfall 2, because they allude to have an actual, like a campaign or more story mode, which is what everybody wanted. Titanfall was great. I mean, as just a base game, Titanfall was one of the ones where it kind of fell out, but we all understood. Well, this is a fun game. It's the baby right now. So Titanfall 2,
we get more lore.
I feel like with the Titanfall game, they wanted to create. If you look at the amount of development time that they had, that's probably the only thing they could do to try to get something out there.
How long was the development time behind that game?
I don't exactly remember it, but the thing is
a year, I think.
Yeah, it was short. It was very, very short.
That's nothing.
Yeah,
so it pumped up pretty good.
So what they did was they did the best they could. They went in and they made a very solid shooter. But the thing is, at the same time, it's like that's not the only thing that's going to carry you, and was the downfall of Titanfall. It's like nothing else.
Yeah,
that's where they fell.
The idea,
that's cute.
The idea behind it is great because it's like, come on, gigantic mechs, first-person shooters. You always think of that, especially Gundam fans. It's kind of like you see the war on the ground, and you see mechs coming at you. It's two varying degrees. It's like you're not helpless if you're not in a mech, but you're not all powerful if you're in a mech. So I don't know. I just like that idea. I like that concept so much.
And I like Overwatch a lot. It definitely puts it puts a different spin. I mean, for its art style, you think Team Fortress, but it's not as silly. You know what I'm saying? But then again, like I said, you have all different types of class. It ain't that damn silly.
It looks like Walt Disney, the shooter.
Walt Disney, the shooter. Yeah,
y'all tripping.
It looks like you're pulling all the new Disney CG movies and you made a game where they shoot each other.
Jamel, you're saying that it's not too kiddie, Overwatch?
Yeah, compared to
You're talking about a game with a monkey with glasses on, and that's not.
bruh. Hey, bruh. Just pushing the boundaries.
I think that game is brilliant, and I think Disney as a shooter is probably one of the best analogies because that's fucking amazing. I love that. I need that in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I think the characters and stuff look cool, but I think at the same time, it's at least for me, it's you have all these little cartoons kind of expanding the lore of the characters, but none of that's really in the game. It's just really about being in an arena and blowing the hell out of each other. And to me, at least for me, that's not the sort of game that I want to play.
I feel you. I understand. Really, what I'm looking forward to is like a new, like as far as the future scene, I don't expect to get really what I want from Call of Duty or anything like that. You know, where the hell is the next Crisis at? That's what I'm saying. Or, as we were talking about mechs, where's Tom? Where the damn new Armor Core and Steel Battalion and all that shit?
Yes, Armor Core.
Well, if you go with Armor Core, that's from software, so they got to stop doing Dark Souls to do that.
They said Dark Souls.
That's a real cash cow right now.
Yeah, it is.
I heard that makes some money for them.
I personally, I want them to go back and do another Tenchu game.
Oh my
God! Yes.
Proper one, not that bullshit they put on the Vita.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What was what was the last one? Yeah, the Xbox 360 one. What was it? Tenchu Z?
Tenchu Z, some shit.
Yeah.
I just heard it was terrible. I didn't play it.
So bad.
That's not what you were saying.
Back when we were in the PlayStation, those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't talk about
Bushido Blade and shit.
Onimusha, new Onimusha.
Well, we
already know how we feel about that.
We almost got that with Neo.
Oh, Neo. I jumped into Neo all wrong. I thought Neo was gonna be like Onimusha, and then there's a guy who just beat him up. I read fucked up real. Oh. Let me step back real quick.
I feel him because it was just kind of like, all right, let's see how fucking, because you could do the quick combos in Onimusha. So you step up, and this fucking thing is just like sit in the middle. And now you haven't played a Dark Souls game. I know, it's crazy. But I walk up to it, I summon it, and I'm like, oh shit, this guy looks like me. He just fucking kills me, and I'm like, all right. Yep. I came at this the fucking wrong way. And then I go back at it, and I keep doing it. I keep dying. it. I'm like, all right. There's something I'm not getting here, and then you learn how to block. You learn how to do this. You learn how to recharge key. It punishes you for not.
You just didn't realize you didn't realize it was actually called Samurai Souls.
Oh
You'd know what it was if it was called that.
Yeah, no, totally. And the thing is like it feels like they went out of their way to try to make this game like the Dark Souls killer. I was like, bro, you didn't have to make this that hard.
I know. Seriously.
Yeah, like even with Dark Souls, like it's hard as shit, but it's still fair. This thing seemed unfair.
Yeah, it punishes a lot of new people that don't even like people.
It punches veterans. I know how to fucking play these games.
Yeah, my thing, like I just came off playing Dark Souls and I started playing this, and I was doing okay initially, but then when I realized, wait. They can kill me in one hit. Like, this ain't balanced, man.
Something's wrong.
Like, come on, bro. Like, what is this? Like, even in Dark Souls, you take 3 hits before you die,
Right, they don't even give you your oh shit moment. I need to back up. Like, oh shit, let me back up. Oh, dead.
You can't just oh shit, then you're dead. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was gonna say like that game has the stupidest like lock on. It's like, okay, if I lock onto you, if I press back, right, I should still be facing you. No, this motherfucker runs away. So what happens when you run away? You get stabbed in the back. It's like, come on, this game is fix that. Fuck that game, man.
That's probably why it was the. They're gonna take all that shit into account for the alpha, right? Then they're gonna release the beta hopefully soon.
We'll see. I don't trust the Japanese when it comes to that. They don't really listen to user feedback, man. I'm just being real.
Actually, in Final Fantasy 15, the forums, they were listening to a lot of their feedback, and it was
and they really changed a lot, didn't they, man? That fucking played that last demo. That last demo controlled. Yeah, that shit played just as bad as the first demo, man.
No. What you're talking about?
Damn.
That was horrible. That shit was horrible. You couldn't even jump in that game. It was so bad. You tried a combo and it was horrible. The latest the platinum demo, when you learn how to do air combos and you learn how to combo up with the cross shuriken and everything, it becomes that you don't even have to get out of the sky in order to take down the Iron Giant. It gets technical with the combos.
Yeah, I don't know, but it still felt cheap though. Like I hated the way the combat was in the first demo, the sky.
That was horrible.
Yeah, and then I played the platinum. I'm like, nothing's changed. It's the same shit. I'm just holding circle, and then stuff happens.
Well, did you know that if you push back, so obviously, you like different directionals on the circle, you do different moves, you use less MP, and you attack with different weaponry, and then it's like all combos with directionals.
But the thing is, if you can just hold circle and still win, all that other stuff seems pointless. It's like when you play a Dynasty Warriors game. You can do a million combos. All you do is just keep hitting X, and that's it. You'll win.
Yeah,
occasional triangle.
For the reaction, for the
or hit square, right? Square, win.
Triangle. Square, triangle.
Yeah. So, Seeley, what are your thoughts on first-person shooters in general, but also these two kind of competing ideas?
I've played a lot of first-person shooters. I fell off of Call of Duty. Actually, with Advanced Warfare, I fell off. And with Battlefield, I say I enjoy Battlefield more, but I know what I'm going to do. I'll get Battlefield 1 and be like, oh, I'm such a boss. I'm going to fly the biplane, and I'm going to crash 10 seconds after I take off, which is what happens every Battlefield. I'm like, buddy, I know how to fly a jet, and I crash right off there. So then it's like,
do it again.
And I'm not flying anymore. That's what will happen.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I don't care about outer space. Like I have Doom. I'm in space. I'm on Mars. So I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
And Infinite Warfare, I don't see anything attractive about it. They're like, we're just gonna keep going in the future, and eventually we'll hit Star Trek or Battlestar Galactica. I don't know where they're going with this, but it's just so far off the rails now. It's so disconnected from anything that Modern Warfare built that I just don't care anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the original Black Ops had a great story. That went right off the rails at the second one. The third one, I don't even know what's going on anymore. So,
my thing is like having people learn from history. Space is where franchises go to die. Like remember Jason X, fucking Hellraiser in space, Leprechaun in space. This is where franchises go to die. I said this back. Yeah, man. And then somebody says like, yeah, you know what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna have because Jason X, they went into space, right? And then if they're gonna go along that trajectory, the next Call of Duty is gonna be Call of Duty in the Hood.
Oh my god.
That's just the Division. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's some true shit, you know. Hey, they got some great cosplay for the Division, right, Manny?
Yeah, they look exactly like people you see on the street. I swear, man, I was at C2E2 this year, and you see cosplayers walking around in the artist alley. At some point, like there was just a bunch of people I just saw around with backpacks and they just looked like they were wearing winter gear. I'm like, that could be Division, or they could just be some dude wearing his winter coat inside with his backpack.
I mean, look at DJ right here. He got a little beanie on. You're
man, you're already in
now.
the Division.
I'm there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro.
I'm level 20. Which one? Oh, hold up. You want that? No, I'm just no.
Oh my god.
I'm in New York. I get a bad one for that.
Yeah. Oh man, cheapest cosplay, man. I swear.
Hey, I mean, Last of Us is a little bit like that too, but at least Ellie has that one shirt that you can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
But then again, it looks like most 80s shirts, shirts from the 80s.
Fucking love that game.
It's those cheap novelty shirts that you get when your family goes to Puerto Rico or Florida.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I've looked at this DeviantArt page before.
Wait, okay, so
I'm sorry, I was looking at E-Man stuff. My bad. I got caught up.
Wonderful.
You might have been through there. I have been featured quite a bit on I've been featured on Kotaku and a couple of other
I feel
sites.
like I've reposted some of this shit on Tumblr before. Continue.
So shout out to E-Man. He's that dude. Go check out his work. Where can people go to check out your work again?
That's all on my my Twitter. So you can get onto my website, which is I think E-Man Art Portfolio or something like that, and then my DeviantArt. So those are the places I post a lot of my artwork on.
I'm gonna have to cut his hands off too, Will.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Let's go. It's Highlander edition. That's how I'm getting.
I told a friend of mine not long ago, if I cut your head off, will I get your art powers?
Oh my god.
Will, come here. I gotta try.
Damn, you just greedy, bruh.
He was just trying to take your hands. He wasn't trying to take your head. So now he went for the whole.
Nah,
Alright,
but then you
Will.
get that awesome quickening. You know, you go flying up in the air, and electricity goes flying into your head.
Yes.
Will, you'll be the experiment. We'll take your hands and your head, and we'll see what happens.
Well, this actually ties into something very interesting that's kind of related to our next topic, but not exactly. Hideo Kojima.
Balls.
Mr.
Fucking
Kojima.
balls. So, did you guys hear about that thing before? Like, there was like some controversy around this doctor who was trying to perform the first brain transplant.
Yes.
The Russian dude?
The character in Metal Gear Solid 4, the first doctor that you see, actually looks like the guy
He looks so close.
who does brain transplant, who did a full head transplant or something like that.
Did he actually successfully do it?
I don't know. I don't think
I'm
so.
about to Google that shit.
But I mean, he's been working on it. So what there was saying, being that this character in the game looks so much like this character, that your character in the actual game, this was before, was that they figured out that maybe that somehow Big Boss's body was damaged and that he transplanted his head to this, the other person or whatever.
So I don't know who at home or who here has beaten that game, so I won't say any spoilers. The game's been out for a while.
Mhm.
Shut up.
Yeah, seriously. We're
Yeah,
so
you got-
light.
Man, listen, y'all motherfuckers need to catch up.
I've done the
All I
first
gotta
one.
say,
I haven't beat it either, but I know how it pertains.
Man,
Okay.
That
Anyway.
anyway,
That game's such a mindfuck.
it is.
All Metal Gear.
All Metal Gear games are
All
mine.
Metal
Yeah.
some more than
Alright,
others.
Mhm.
Yeah. And by the way, I think this was the first Metal Gear game I played where I didn't cry.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. Take
The
with
only reason why I'm crying at 2 is because they make me see Raiden's naked ass.
that excites most of the people. I don't know what you're talking about.
Especially
Well,
Chris.
you know, to each his own. He said it, Chris. Oh.
I want to fucking cosplay that and just show up to your fucking apartment like that.
I'll kill you.
That's cheaper.
Not before he gets that dude, though.
It's a cheap cosplay. All you gotta do is do little hair and
That's
shit.
It's literally
Yeah, that's cheaper cosplay than the Division, man.
right.
Just put on a blonde wig, you're done.
So
I'll kill you.
Kojima's going around visiting a bunch of more studios. You know,
Yep.
they had that render for the new character that they just
Mhm.
showed off.
Yeah, oh my god, yes.
Now,
What's his name?
Luden, as
Luden.
in it's all based off of the stuff, the ones who play Ludens or something like that. So that's what his name. It's like
Ludens.
one whatever.
it's like a Latin thing, right?
Yeah, it's a Latin thing.
Yeah.
He has this whole big explanation. It's almost like going onto a Scientology site or something like that. When you go to his webpage, it's like
Yeah.
shows the universe and it's like those who play and those who. It's like what? This goofy, this crazy
Heavily
philosophy.
on acid, I think.
Yeah, it's like okay, so that's what Konami's been keeping back.
I was about to say the
We
same.
can't take the acid anymore, man. Chill.
What are
We
we
can't hide. We
No.
can't hide the fact that you're on acid anymore.
Look, you keep going into these events, touching people's faces.
Yeah.
It's enough.
Oh, but yeah, he's been going around all. I think he's in Sweden, and also he visited like Media Molecule and a bunch of other companies out there,
Mahjong.
which is
I
cool.
saw
I mean,
recently.
I think, but you also notice the pattern of the studios that he's visiting. All of them are independent studios, like Media Molecule. I think they are owned by Sony. I can't remember if they bought them or not, but I know that they were an independent studios. They went to Sucker Punch. He went over to a bunch of other places too, and I think he's just looking for ideas on how to create his own studio, because officially he had his own studio, but he didn't have his own studio. All of that was all done within Konami. So now it's like he's on his own. So now it's like, okay, talk to these guys who've essentially done it already. They had their own independent studios and they grew them.
So do you think he's already working on stuff, or is he basically, like you're saying, recon?
I think he is working on stuff, and but I also think he's also doing recon as well, as far as the technology and all the different things that they used to kind of get to where they are. It's like
Laying the blueprint.
it's a whole new field. I mean, we're talking right here. I mean, theoretically, he could have also just talked to his buddies in Japan, because I mean, his guys at Platinum, they've created their own studio, stuff like that. But I think he also may want to introduce a bit of a more Western influence into the Oh, Sony bought Media Molecule. Thanks. So yeah. So I think he just wants to introduce that bit of a Western influence into his studio as well.
It goes back to that outside the box thinking, right? So
exactly.
Everybody, especially the people that are over there, they like to stay with their traditions, and everything that they do is basically kind of like by a book at this point. But you know, he's always been a guy that's thought outside the box, and he's learning from everybody. I mean, you can't be the best just by learning from one guy. You have to learn from his
exactly.
True.
I mean, even with his games, they're also combinations of things that he's enjoyed and things that he's learned. Film and music and all that stuff. It's all within his game. So it's going to be interesting to see what he comes up with, especially seeing this spaceman.
Yeah.
And from what he's saying, and from which I don't believe that's the main. I don't believe that's the character you play.
Okay. Well, he's like the icon for the studio, isn't he? He's not like a character. He's just
he is a character in the game. That's what they said. He said that. He originally said when they revealed it that we showed the head. He's like there is a body that goes with this.
I remember hearing that.
And it's a character in the game. So
it'd be like Raiden, basically.
I mean, it could be Cyborg Ninja, or it could be the Fury from Metal Gear Solid 2. A lot of people are comparing them.
I just meant like more so of like a secondary, character that kind of stands out. You know what I mean? Like a Boba Fett type. That's not really the primary, but still a standout character.
I do think he is. I don't think he's the main. He might actually be the villain of the game. Who knows?
I was going to say that, to be fair, wasn't the first guy that we saw from Metal Gear Solid 5 that dude with the messed up face?
Yeah, we saw Skullface.
Yeah, Skullface.
Yeah. So, was he the first person we saw, or was he...
I mean, he might have been. I don't remember, but I think the way that the video went, the first trailer, was you see him in that scene where he's getting into the helicopter, and then they show his face, and you're like, oh, who the hell is this thing? That was kind of like the big question.
He shows the villain. I mean, he tends to show the villain kind of semi-early.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess my other question before we move on to the other topics, of course, is what kind of experience are you hoping to get from this new studio?
For me, I don't really. I'd be happy with anything actually, because it means like for the first time in a long time, he's actually doing whatever the hell he wants to do, as opposed to making another Metal Gear, or essentially kind of remaking a Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Or but when he started doing this sort of stuff, like he had a bunch of different games he was into. I mean, he had the game Snatcher, he had Metal Gear, he had all these other types of titles, and then Bakutusai, the game where you have to use sunlight to play the game. So then at some point it just became about Metal Gear when it became the big thing at Konami, and it just didn't allow him to do the things that he wanted to do. So many times in the past have we heard him say, "Yeah, I'm done with making Metal Gear," and then he just kind of gets pulled back in again when the production starts going awry. So, but it's now the first time we actually get to see all these crazy ideas, whatever crazy ideas he's got in his head, actually.
He has full creative freedom this time, so it's gonna be groundbreaking. Because I mean, you guys are fans of Zone of Enders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. That's a second wonder, bro.
And the thing about that game, that actually is not a Kojima game.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's a Shinkawa game.
But
Shinkawa.
Right?
Yes, because Shinkawa, the Jehuti and all the Anubis are based off of things that he used to draw as a kid, and it's a combination between him and one of the writers of Metal Gear that created that story for that game.
Wow.
Wait, so
it's not a Kojima game.
It's not a full Kojima game.
It's not a Kojima. He was just a producer on it.
Yeah, it was a production.
And there's also a bunch of those Metal Gear games that are not Peace Walker, but Portable Ops is also not a Kojima game.
Acid.
And Metal Gear Acid is not his. But
see, I told you he was on acid.
Metal Gear Acid.
There's also one of the better Metal Gear games that were not made by him, which was Ghost Babel for the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Game Boy Color, excuse me. That one's a really good game.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. But you look at it's funny. You look at the lineage of he hasn't really had that many games, and they all take a lot of years in between them.
But and that kind of goes to the point of what I would like to see is something that's familiar but creative and different at the same time.
I think that's what he's going to go for. But from what he said, what he said that this game would kind of be like he was saying something like a third-person action game, kind of like Uncharted and maybe The Division.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
So
I mean, between those two.
Yeah, it's like a mix between those two. I feel like it's the shooting aspect of The Division,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then maybe
the verticality.
Maybe the verticality of Uncharted.
I would think the mobility more than anything.
The mobility of
I would love it if Metal Gear had the mobility of Uncharted. So yeah.
Yeah, see, that was
5 is very mobile though.
He's mobile, but it just feels. I call it a very Japanese way of mobility, whereas essentially you're just kind of. You feel really stiff. Yeah, you feel very stiff. I mean, it's the most that Snake has ever moved in a Metal Gear game, like him actually jumping.
Vaulting over stuff, yeah.
Amazing. Did you see him jump?
It's like, holy crap, he can jump.
You can climb things, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a thing?
Kev, what are you hoping to see from the studio? Because I know you have a very interesting perspective on where games are, where they can go.
I don't know. I'd like to see a Metal Gear that has not a Metal Gear. I'd like to see a game that has a very cohesive story. I feel like my problem with the last Metal Gear was just sort of that there was a story, but it was sort of totally overshadowed by giant map, 150 things to do. I'd like to see
I very much agree. It feels the Metal Gear Solid 5 story is very watered down.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the actual gameplay, which the gameplay is awesome.
Amazing.
But there's no connection out there right now where I can just turn them on, go do random objectives, beat up some guys, or save some civilians and get out and not really give a shit. I want a game where I actually where I feel engaged.
Well, they almost really didn't utilize Kiefer Sutherland all that much, other than for some emotions. So it's like, for them to put a game out there and put an A-list actor there, and on top of that, get rid of Hader, like...
That was some sketchy shit that happened with that
I don't know what that was.
I definitely think that Kojima didn't like having Hader at that position.
He didn't. He tried to replace him a couple times in 2.
Oh, that's why whenever it's only now that people are actually somewhat saying it. But the thing is that you kind of knew this sort of stuff was happening, because it's like, why would you wait? You announce a new Metal Gear game is coming out, and then like months later, you finally announce that David Hayter's in it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they tried. They tried a few times.
So, Chris Seeley, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
I think it would be hilarious if Sony's spending tens of thousands of dollars to sojourn him around the world, going to different studios and getting all these ideas, and he comes back and makes the most amazing pinball game ever.
I have always wanted to make a pinball game.
What about chess?
It's a pinball game that fucks with your mind, man.
I appreciate what he's doing, because this is like you guys said, it's very rare for most Japanese developers to look outside of themselves for ideas and influence and inspiration. You know, this is something I always rant about Nintendo, that they're guilty of this, like being very insular and not looking at anything anyone else is doing. And they're just in their bubble. And a lot of Japanese developers are like that. But Kojima is very different. He's going to Europe, he's going to the States, he's going everywhere, and getting inspired. And that, I think, will make he'll craft something fantastic with influence from everywhere. So I'd be very curious to see what it is.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pinball game.
I would. Yeah, this would.
I'm good with backgammon.
This is what we've been waiting for years, man. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Metal Gear. I even love Metal Gear Solid 5. I know people have problems with it. I loved it. But I want to see fucking Kojima do something else, man, because that guy has too much creative juice in that head. Like, you need to let it out, let people drink from it. You know what I'm saying? And just like Chris said, it's like, it is so refreshing to see a Japanese developer do this. Most Japanese developers, they just stick to whatever's, is big in Japan. Kojima's thinking about the entire world, and he's always been like that. He's always thought about how do I make my games for a global audience. You know, he's not making games for just a specific Japanese audience, but at the same time, his Japaneseness comes through in the games, and that's what makes it so unique and cool. You know, so I think this is fantastic. I just hope this shit comes out this generation, not for the PlayStation 5. You know, Kojima takes a long time to make games, man.
Yeah. Let's hope that he's not going back to formula like in the last few times. I mean, that's also the Japanese way, where essentially each new iteration of the game has a new engine.
Doesn't he have to? I mean, Konami kept the Fox engine.
They kept the Fox engine, but he could go with something like an Unreal.
Yeah, he could license Unreal.
He could license Unreal. He could freaking license the hacked around version of the MT framework that friggin' Platinum Games is using.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if I would,
that they totally made up and didn't steal from Capcom.
Yeah.
I was about to say that's definitely
you could come on. That is MT framework. They're literally using MT framework. How could they make Bayonetta so quickly after leaving Capcom?
Yeah. But maybe Kojima could do something similar with the Fox engine, right? Like, okay, like this is the Zoff engine, right? The Web engine.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
the Tiger engine.
The Tiger.
Here's the thing. That definitely means that also the game will look. I mean, granted, you can't hide the Shinkawa style. I mean, it totally looked like fucking Metal Gear when you come on.
Yeah, that was definitely Metal Gear Slash. It's one of the enders. I'm like.
Yeah, I see you, man. I see that.
But you can't hide. Yeah. You can't. Again, he can't. There's there's certain design cues that Shinkawa just always does. I mean, like he designed a bunch of stuff for Godzilla Final Wars. You look at that movie, all the suits and the freaking spaceship that they use in there looks like fucking Metal Gear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can't hide that, you know.
Yeah,
but
basically.
That's always worked for him, I guess. I mean,
he's a brilliant artist.
Yeah, and especially with him trying to take such a risk, I mean, he's got to have some kind of comfortability with what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to hear from the rest of you guys. What are you thinking? What are you thinking that's percolating in your head that you're hoping to see out of this that hasn't already been said? So, ItsYoru.
I think everyone hit the damn nail on the head.
Dream. Pretty much.
All the dreams.
Sorry,
I mean,
sometimes.
just looking at the picture of Ludens, for a new IP. Like I said, it seems some in the maybe not the not so distant future, And some like I said, we already know he's been wanting to get away from Metal Gear for a long time, and so I mean, if he's had some sort of plans for something to a degree current time thing, just being him, this picture really has me intrigued just for what the rest of the world will look like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if he's not the main character that you use, if let's say he is the villain, then what kind of character are you?
I feel like it gives off an Advent Children vibe to its style. Like, I don't know if everybody watched the Final Fantasy movie, but just that drab kind of like almost fantasy setting, but still, dark and brooding because of it being a war. I don't know. I mean, he's always had a thing where his style has also influenced how the story is, or I guess vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean this is just just from one picture. For us to be debating this much about it,
dissecting it so much,
dissecting it,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's good enough. If that's what you want, and that's what he got. I mean, you can't get much better than being successful at showing one picture and everybody's on board.
So true. And I guess the very last thing I wanted to ask you guys about was pertaining to something that we touched on a little bit. The consoles with the moving forward, if it's going to be on a PS5 or a PS6, and we were getting more and more information pertaining to the 0.5 iteration of the consoles that we have now. And I know everybody has different kind of opinions about if that's good or bad for the industry. I'm actually going to ask you guys this: would you rather talk about that, or would you rather talk about which console do you think is going to come out on the top in this situation? Because we're in a weird place where the PlayStation 4 is already, completely dominating everything else that's out right now.
What's one of the things that I think is really interesting about the PlayStation 4 is that it's the worst-selling Sony console in Japan, like that they've ever released. That Japanese gamers do not want a PS4. They say that it has nothing for them.
Really?
Yeah, I mean they're not buying the Xbox either. The Xbox sold like 200 copies last month.
So what are they buying then?
Since
Nintendo?
launch.
Nothing. Mobile games.
Yeah, that's all they care about now.
Kingdom Hearts Unchained over in Japan on mobile devices. We were when we were at PAX, we got to meet the producer of Unchained, and he was running ragged, just like doing updates and everything overseas, and the North American release was just nothing compared to the strenuous hours that he's under in Japan.
But why do you think that is, though? I mean, because we're sitting here, we're all in America, I assume. But we all have Western philosophies, and we all aren't just settling for something basic like that. I mean, could you live off mobile games?
It's not so much that they're mobile games; it's that they don't want Western games, and they're finding that a lot of the Japanese games that are being released are, as we've said, bland and formulaic. But at the same time, Western games aren't something that they want. They don't want Fallout 4.
Yeah. They don't want Uncharted.
They don't want Call of Duty. They
don't want Mass
might
Effect?
care a little bit about Uncharted, but not all that much.
What about Mass Effect? Would they want more, like a mix of RPG, like a Western RPG?
I don't know. It's not out yet.
I think that you're very right with that. It's like there is a misconception in Japan that Western games are usually shit games, which they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were. Yeah.
You go back, you go back a while ago. There were some pretty lousy Western games.
There's also been some interesting studies that have shown that there might even just be sort of a physiological thing. That it might be that brains evolve differently because so that first-person perspectives are not as pleasurable to people from other parts of the world.
Yeah, to me, I think it's more of a cultural thing, because
I think so.
The Japanese are, historically and even now, kind of xenophobic, it's weird. They like to take some of our influences, but they don't want to be us exactly. So to them, it's like, it's like this is a Western console. This is shit. This is a Western game. It's shit. Only the Japanese make superior products. This is the way they think.
But also at the same time, a lot of the games, back in the old days, also when some of the games that were made in the West were brought over to Japan, there was a fair amount of adjusting they did to these games to make them more appealing to the Japanese audience. Yeah. You look at Fear Effect in Japan, it looks a lot different. You look at, even games like Dino Crisis, which is a Japanese game, but the character in Dino Crisis looks totally different in Japan. Crash Bandicoot looks different in Japan too.
Did you give him big anime eyes or something?
Oh yeah, they softened. In other words, he had less attitude and he looks more cute.
Yeah, it's just a cultural thing, But it's just interesting how the Japanese in general just moved over to mobile now, Like that's all they care about. Look how great the PSP did over there, for example,
The 3DS.
Mm-hmm. 3DS
exactly.
So you also have to look at the lives that a lot of them lead, and they may not be home a lot to play these games.
That's why
especially with the
over there.
Especially with the Xbox Connect, the amount of space in a normal Japanese person's apartment was
less than the actual Xbox.
Less than the amount that the Connect needed to get a perfect. So it's like it doesn't work there.
Yeah.
I had a couple people that I work with in Hong Kong, and they were telling me that a room that was basically like 4x4 would cost them what it costs in New York to live in a place that's even decently sized, 2-bedroom type of place, and that's New York of all places. So
expensive as fuck.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, the Eastern people, they definitely don't have that much patience to stay sitting in their house all day.
Also, like guys were saying, it was the cultural thing. Like a lot of the Japanese people are always on the go. They're always on their phone. They're always trying to
Yeah.
see if they can occupy themselves a little bit, while they're traveling to school, while they're traveling to work and stuff. I mean, they're overstressed. I mean, it's their numbers
We
are
all
ridiculous.
are. All right, we all got problems.
Nah, in Japan it's bad, man. Like when I was staying. Well, first before I even say this, I think there might be 3 of y'all that live in New York City right now, right?
Well, I think
Only one of us now. That'll probably be Tony.
Chris and Manny, these guys moved out, man.
Yeah, New York is expensive, man.
Yeah, man. So wait, are you guys still in New York then?
No, I am. Manny.
I'm in Pennsylvania now.
And
Okay.
Chris, you went further than that.
Yeah, I moved to Texas.
Oh,
Texas,
wow.
baby, whoop whoop.
All right, so Dave, Kkosaurus, you're close to at least Tony. But the other thing I want to say too is in Japan, like when I was staying there I was there for like a little bit less than 2 weeks. I stayed in a capsule hotel.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, the $15 hotel.
Man, that was an experience.
Hey, at least they have free Wi-Fi.
They have free Wi-Fi. They got a fucking spa upstairs. Like, I don't. Apparently, that was like a rough area in Tokyo. But like, I was walking around like, yo, this is like the hood is a rough area. This is like some nice shit. But
Well, maybe I hope you didn't get asked if you're a rapper or anything.
I've been asked if I was a basketball player.
I knew it.
Or other athletes.
And you're not even tall, right?
I mean, like I'm taller than most of the dudes that were there. I try to go clothes shopping there. I couldn't even find anything that fit. I'm like, I'm not like a big dude. It's just like.
Now what you do is you buy if you do wear a large, you can get away with if you do wear a large, you can get away with wearing an extra large and it fitting like a large.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned about Japanese clothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need like a
man.
5X then, huh?
Oh my god.
But there were so many people in that capsule hotel, like these Japanese businessmen who were like, it was a fucking Wednesday, and they were like working late until like I don't know 11 or something like that. And they would go there, they would check in and just sleep. I'm like, damn, this is, and I understand why like people are taking on mobile more so than like console games because like they're literally like they go to work, they go to the capsule hotel. They play, go to sleep, and then wake up the next day to do the same thing. It's like, what?
Yeah, I mean, they still say that the suicide rate in Japan is very high.
Yeah.
Because they live very stressful lives. Even the smoking lung cancer
They
thing
smoke
over there.
everywhere. Oh
They
my
smoke everywhere.
fucking god!
Yeah, my kind of place.
No man.
So
There.
but they're saying,
I
studies.
do like this is regular air for me.
They said that some studies have said that later on, like younger people in Japan have kind of been moving away from that. Oh, the company comes first, all that raw stuff, and it's it's kind of changing the landscape of the country a little bit.
Do you think there's going to be some kind of well, obviously the cultural shift is happening, as you said. I mean, would you see this to be a problem within the next 10 to 20 years?
Well, I mean, they're having a problem now with the population, like that's a whole other topic right there. The population shrinking because nobody is getting together, and the way things are set up over there, you can pretty much get everything you need as far as like relationships goes, paying for it. It's like if you want like a companionship with a woman, right? You just go to a hostess party. You're not having sex with them. Well, I'm talking about you're not having sex with these women. You're just having beers and talking to them. There's even like fucking cuddle bars and stuff. It's just very I think it was Vice. They did a whole expose on this. It's just very interesting how they've come monetize every single aspect of a relationship over there, where you could have everything that you want from being in a relationship without actually being in an actual real relationship. It's really crazy over there, and they're telling people, the government's telling me please have sex, have babies, but it's like I think they sell, and I'm not making this up, they sell more adult diapers over there. They do actual baby diapers. That's how crazy it is.
Wow.
Yeah, because of all the older people.
Yeah.
It's
Man,
interesting.
they need to control their shit.
But
listen, man, the way I see it, it's listen, man, if you guys need the population raised, you just get a bunch of Dominicans over there to set them right. I'm telling you,
And
man.
they need 3. They don't need a bunch.
That's it,
Pick that shit up
You get me, you get my cousin Chris, and you got one of my other cousins. We're over there. We're gonna fix that in about 10 years, man.
Start making that shit look like a Game of Thrones family.
Oh my god.
Oh man, yeah. But anyway, how did we start getting talking about that?
Yeah.
Man, this has been a fucking great podcast. Shit, I don't want to take you guys' time any more than we already have.
What do we got to do? Play some games?
I guess that's true. That's fair. That's fair.
I'm working,
I gotta
so
be
I'm
up
good.
Yeah, this is
I'm gonna be up
fun,
at 7 o'clock in the morning and then be at work until 11:30 at night tomorrow. So yeah,
Wait,
not everybody's got it easy, alright?
What? Wait, are you like fucking working the night, the fucking corners or something?
I gotta go to a different site after my job, so and then do some extra work, and it's gonna take us till like 11:30, 12 o'clock. So
Man.
I'll bother your fucking ass all fucking night if I have to.
it's all right, bro. We can do it.
Start sending you Jamil fucking yellow shorts that I got rendered up, right?
Do you want to die tonight? You want to make it to the morning, motherfucker? Is that what you want?
Yo, guys, tell Jamil he would look good as a tracer, like a gender bent tracer cosplayer.
Yeah,
Hello.
He would look fantastic.
don't go there.
That ass.
That ass though.
Yeah, that ass.
What that ass.
Don't go there.
What that ass.
So we were in the Black Oni podcast on Facebook. We were talking, and
Gonna really do it.
we somehow managed to talk about the equivalent versions of ourselves in the Tenchi Muyo series.
There's really that many characters in Tenchi Muyo? Must have.
Yeah.
We got
I'll
ridiculous.
never know when to just shut the hell up.
So,
It was talking a whole nother language.
so I think I was Ryoko.
Yeah.
I think Chris. Who are you, Chris?
I was the fucking sword.
You was the sword.
I didn't even have a fucking body.
A sword. Chris starring as a sword.
Legit.
And Jamel was the was Ryo Oki.
Yeah, the fucking
The
ship.
ship. And I was like, oh my god, we're all inside Jamel.
Oh fuck.
And cut. All right, guys. That was a great show.
Oh man, yo guys, this has been so much fun.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
I can't wait to do this again. This worked out really well. We've got a good dynamic going on here. Before we close out, would you guys like to give one last shout out to what it is you do, where people can find more of you? So let's start the opposite way this time. Let's start with Tony.
All right. So yeah, find me on Twitter at RomUDeath. You can check out links to the Throwdown, to my Coalition stuff, my Geek.com, PC Mag. I'm everywhere. So yeah, definitely check that out. And if you like, hearing about comics and games, I'm your man. So definitely follow me on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Then we got Kkosaurus.
What's going on? Like I said, I manage the social media for the store I work at. So if you're into books and you want some cool book stuff, you can follow them. Most of that is me. That's an unlikely story in Plainville, which is twitter.com/an__unlikely story. It's unlikely__story. There we go.
Yeah, I'm so confused. I'm going to link it.
You can link it, that's fine. If you want to follow me, you can find me on Twitch occasionally. Otherwise, I'll just be posting stuff probably on the Black Oni page because my stuff's all gone dormant because I manage the store's accounts. So.
Right on.
Yeah.
Let's go to Dream.
Shut your ass up. Dream Manifest for Twitter, the Insta, the YouTube, anything. It's just Dream Manifest because that's your boy. We manifesting the dreams out here. That's what we do.
That was nice.
What about you, Emilio?
Me, you can find me at emanland on Twitter. And on there I have all of my links. Also make sure to head over to our Throwdown on Twitter, which is
at Throwdown Show.
And also make sure to head over to coalition.com, which is where our show is hosted.
Let's go to Mr. Ikarush.
Pretty much everything, Facebook, YouTube.
been cut out.
Oh, all right.
Look, see, like,
All right.
that's what you get.
Of course, I freeze when I'm going, right?
Yeah.
I just thought maybe you managed Facebook for a minute. I was really impressed.
I am.
All right. So while I still got you guys, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all Icarus with a 5 instead of an S.
And let's go to Chris Seeley.
Hey guys, you can find me at Lunar Diaries on Twitter, and also look for my YouTube channel. It's called Full Time Nerds, where I do cartoon reviews and video gameplay.
I don't actually think I have it on here.
Yeah, it's a fun channel. Him and his girlfriend doing it. Oh, actually, fiance, right, Chris? Man?
Yes.
Whoa.
Great. So what is the show called again?
And the channel's called Full Time Nerds.
Okay. Word. People, make sure you go check them out, support them. And last but not least, we've got ItsYoru.
Yeah, first time I just plugged my Twitter, but you guys can check out my cosplay stuff on Instagram at ItsYoru. You can check out my Tumblr as well. I post cosplay stuff there too. And my Twitter, it's Chris_Lazcano, Lazcano. I'll be posting up, anything from soccer related matters to games, Final Fantasy, anything. All right, so
Fire hydrant.
fuck you.
You're very anti-fire hydrant, don't you know that?
Yeah, I'm very into it. Yeah.
Fire hydrant
But
kills
that
green
fire
color.
hydrant. Though.
Yo, you just fucking jealous.
He gonna lose his woman to a fire hydrant. It's gonna be funny.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That fucking shit happens, I'll cut off my balls, dude. Yeah, that was
Oh man, do we have a record on this? We have a record on this, right?
This is
Nah,
all-
it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that guy that
It's all
says,
saved.
God.
Hey, money will get you far. Don't worry.
I know,
I'll
right?
make sure that happens.
Asshole.
I'll put 20 on it.
And of course, everyone who's here already knows what to do. Go to youtube.com/BlackOniCollective, where you will be able to find many of these fine faces in one area, and then you can actually click on each individual person if you want to check out their own individual channels, or if you want to see the stuff that is either categorized in playlists or stuff that is uploaded directly to that channel. You can do that. The channel is brand new, just started. We have a lot of really fucking exciting stuff that is on the way, and there's already stuff that's on there now. Can't ruin or spoil too much of that, but you won't be disappointed. Subscribe. Make sure you do that.
Lots of nudes.
So
I mean, what?
It's mostly going to be Jamail, though.
Y'all gonna stop bringing me into this shit. There's gonna be some serious fighting going on, and y'all don't want the problems. It's gonna be the Bruce Tekken beatdown, goddammit.
It's going to be the collision.
There's gonna be some serious collision.
But as always, we'll catch you on the next podcast. Game on. Black Oni out.